Okay, hi guys. I thought that today I'd do a bit of chair yoga just so that you can have a neck and shoulder stretch at your desk if you're at work or just on a chair if you're at home. So I'm going to go back and sit on my chair, and I hope that you enjoy this video. Okay, so I'm sitting on a chair. I've actually got a stool, but any chair will do. I'm kind of imagining that you might be in your office at your desk, and you could just move your chair back away from your desk so you're not going to hit your elbows or anything. And the first thing is, if we want to have healthy neck and shoulder mobility, then we kind of have to start low down on the chain. The chain of the spine needs to be in the right position. Otherwise, we won't be able to have an effect on the shoulders or neck. So the first thing is to sort out your seat. Now, for this, you want to have your feet grounded, your heels underneath your knees. And so you might need a cushion to lift your bottom up a little bit. You want your hips slightly higher than your knees and your heels underneath your knees. You may want to have a block under your feet to bring your feet up if they're just sort of dangling. You need to be able to press down and find some stability. As you press your feet down into the earth, you'll feel your thighs switching on. And the next thing that's really important is that the pelvis is in the right position. You want to be able to have the natural curve in the spine, especially the lower back. So to do this, most of us, because we spend most of our time in flexion, which is kind of slouching, we're sitting to the back end of the pelvis, which means we're curling down here. We're already kind of curved in the mid back and behind the chest. And then it means that the chin comes forward, and then so that we can see, we just lift up our head, which is kind of just lifting up the top two vertebrae, and it kind of means that this whole chain is out of whack. So the first thing we have to do is kind of find, first of all, some mobility in the pelvis, and it's really nice to kind of do some cat and cow stretch to just loosen up. We want to imagine that your thigh bones are just sitting up here, and they've got these ball tops, and the ball and socket joint of the hip and the pelvis is going to just roll backwards and forwards over this ball of the thigh. So what we can do, we can use the breath. We can inhale, roll forward so the pubic bone drops down. This will open the chest, take the shoulders back, and you can look up slightly. And then you can roll back so that your pubic bone is rolling up towards your chest and the tailbone sinking down. The back's getting very rounded, and you can drop your chin to your chest. Your arms can go forward. So then inhaling, slide your hands back, roll your pubic bone down, squeeze your shoulder blades back, look up, and exhaling, send your arms forward, roll to the back of the pelvis, drop your chin to your chest. And just roll backwards and forwards, and you'll feel the sitting bones, the bony protrusions at the bottom of the pelvis. And you'll feel that you're rolling as you exhale and curl your spine like an angry cat. You're rolling to the back edge of them. And as you inhale, as the pubic bone drops down, the elbows squeeze back, the chest lifts, you're rolling to the front edge. So just have a little feel. You want to be able to feel this. And if it's too bony, if you've got a real bony bum, you might want a little bit of cushioning. And if you don't feel anything, then you want to really move the buttock flesh out of the way so you can feel it. So we're just rolling forwards. And this gives us a chance to let the pelvis find its movement, which will help us to sit up. Also takes away some strain in the lower back, and it starts to let us feel the movement of the shoulder blades moving forward and away from the spine as you exhale, and back and squeezing into the spine as you inhale. And you've got this gentle movement of the neck, which isn't really doing anything, it's just following the movement of the rest of the spine. Once we've done that a little bit, then you might be able to sit comfortably. If you're lining your bones up with gravity, then you'll naturally be on the front edge of those sitting bones, not in extension, not pushing your pubic bone down too much and opening the chest, and certainly not slouching back. But it is sort of the pubic bone pushing down. You've got this lovely natural curve. And this means that you can already sit up really nicely, very easily. And from here, we can start to just roll the shoulders. And just nourishing the shoulders, just getting some movement. Our shoulder blades are like our wings. They sit on the back, but they don't want to be still. They want to move. They like to move out and up as we lift our arms out to the sides, and they kind of slide around the rib cage like that. And you can move one up at a time as you move. And you can breathe deeply as you roll. And you can try rolling the other way. It's nice to move the shoulders. You can make big circles. You can make one circle into one breath cycle. So as you breathe in, you move the elbows, the shoulders forward and up. And as you breathe out, you move the shoulders back and down. And all the time, your spine is straight because you're anchoring those sitting bones onto the chair. So it's very, very easy to sit upright because you're not using too much muscular energy to hold yourself up. And then just giving the shoulders a little shake. You can also do that with your hands on your shoulders. So breathing in, elbows come up and back, and breathing out, they squeeze back and come down. Breathing in together and up. Breathing out, back and down. And you can do 3 of those. You can add the head a little bit as you feel the chest opening. And then we'll go the other way, breathing in, back and up. Breathing out together and down. Really feeling or imagining the shoulder blades as they're allowed to move. They're allowed to move out to the sides. They're allowed to move up and down. Very nice. And then just shrug the shoulders once again. See if you can find that nice upright spine. So I've got about 1 fist, 2 fists between my knees. So my knees come out kind of in front of the hip points and the heels are directly underneath my knees. And after I keep pressing down, I feel that strong thigh action which stabilizes. It helps me find the front edge of the sitting bones. And my lower back is curved. And so bit by bit, I can try and find that line as if I was drawing a line from the hip bones, the shoulders, and even the ears, all in one lovely line. So normally I have to bring my throat back a little bit and really feel the crown of the head reaching up as the sitting bones reach down. So see if you can just hold without too much muscular energy, but just feeling length in the spine. As you lengthen and press the pelvis down, as you lift the crown up, you might feel a very gentle tightening around the waist. And this is just like a cinching in that allows your muscles to be held in, your organs to be held in to support the lower back, and it will actually lengthen the axial skeleton or the spine. I'm feeling quite strong and stable. And then from here, we'll take a deep breath in, and as we breathe out, we're just going to drop the chin down a little bit. It doesn't go very far. And then breathing in, we'll bring it back to center. And breathing out, dropping it down, feeling some length in the tissues in the back of the neck. And now hold it down. Don't collapse the chest so that you can reach the chin to the chest. It doesn't want to reach the chest. Keep the chest open. Keep the shoulders broad. Keep the shoulder blades heavy. And just feel in with your breath into the back of the neck. And feel those muscles behind the ears that go down to the tops of the shoulders. These are like holding your head up all the time. Normally holding your head up in a completely wonky direction. So let them just soften and release with the breath. The out breath really does the best work here. Enables the muscles to release and lengthen. And then still with the chin down, we'll just roll the head from side to side. So we keep the chin down as we roll. We don't want to roll the head up. Quite dangerous for the neck. Unless you're maybe a 20-year-old athlete, then you won't have any problems. Most of us need to keep the head slightly forward as we rotate. So just from side to side, just feeling into one side at a time. So as you take your chin to one side, the other side is opening. And you feel that there. And you feel that maybe one side is a bit wonky, one side feels more than the other. That's fine, you're normal. Chin ends up down, and then when you inhale, lift the head up. And then exhaling, just dropping one ear down to one shoulder. And again, it doesn't go very far, and it doesn't need to. Keep the shoulders level, don't cheat and lift the shoulder up to the ear. Don't force the ear down, ouch, don't do that, bad idea. Just let the head be heavy. And you'll feel the ears moving towards the shoulder. This side then is opening, and you can breathe into that side. And as you exhale, you can imagine that the ear is moving away from the shoulder. So the shoulder's moving down towards the floor, and the ear's moving up to the ceiling diagonally. When you exhale, you're really accentuating that kind of the image of the stretch. Nice long exhales as you sit and relax and get into this. You can allow yourself some time and space for the breath to lengthen. Space in your life, space in your day. You really don't have to do much yoga to make some space in your life. So as we inhale then, the head's quite heavy. You might want to support your cheek to bring your head back to center. And as you exhale, go to the other side. Again, as you're tilting, keep the chin slightly down. It's safer for the neck than if you have the chin pointing up. Whenever you're rotating, then we keep the chin slightly down. And again, shoulders down, shoulders level, hips level, still getting that support from the thighs. Hopefully, if your weight is on the right part of the sitting bones, there's not much pain in the lower back. If you're sinking too much forward, then you probably want to cinch in at the waist again. If you're sinking too much back, then just don't. Just take the buttocks back and sit upright. And then everything will just kind of work itself out. You don't have to do much. Gravity does it all for you. So there's a lengthening with my exhale. And then coming back, I'll just gently touch my cheek, inhaling to center. And then I'll just finish that off with a chin down again. Again, it doesn't go, there's lots of space between my chin and my chest. But I feel these back muscles lengthening, back of the neck. Very nice. And then inhaling to center the head. And then just once or twice each side, exhaling, taking the chin towards the shoulder, kind of keeping it level, if not down a little bit. Inhaling to center, exhaling to the side. So just turning the head round, really. But always, as always, we're not turning it around, lifting it up. We're keeping the chin in towards the body. Safer, and it means that you're actually stretching the soft tissues rather than wearing and tearing on the joints of the spine and the neck. Okay. Very nice. And then let's just roll the shoulders again. And then shoulder movement and stability really depends on the top part of the we call it the thoracic spine, which is your spine which has ribs on it, the middle back. So again, we'll just do some stretching the arms forward, a bit like what we're doing in cat and cow. If you want to tip back on your pelvis now and drop your chin, it might feel like a nice release. All I'm doing is moving my arms forward, really opening up my shoulder blades and really curling my upper back. And then I'm going to sit back up into neutral spine with my lovely natural curves in the neck, natural curve in the lower back. And then I'm going to do the opposite. So I'm going to move my hands behind me, keep the heads of my arm bones back. So I don't want to move them forward because that's tipping my chest. Really keep the pecs open. Send the arms back. So you might be able to take hold of something or put your hands on something or reach your hands together. But if you're reaching your hands together, careful that you don't bring your shoulders forward. We're trying to open. We're trying to lift the chest. We're trying to maybe stretch the hands down behind you so that we're really lifting the top of the chest. And then release. And then maybe a bit of cat and cow, because that is always really nice to iron out. Do cat and cow on a chair. You can do it standing up, sort of with your legs bent. You can do it kneeling on the floor in your office. I'm sure you wouldn't look mad at all. Okay, so let's do some side stretching. So it's nice to, again, we're thinking about the top of the thoracic vertebrae, the thoracic spine, getting some mobility there because that releases the shoulders. A lot of the time we're working on our shoulders for nothing because without this bit of the spine being nice and open, then you're just pulling your shoulders around. So just getting some movement like from side to side. So if you've got a chair, you can have your hand on the chair just to stabilize one side. The other side lengthen so you can start to lift up. Depending on how much mobility you have in your arm, you can come up as far as you want and then reaching over. And just we're trying to open this side and shorten this side. And also, again, you can be anywhere. Sometimes we can't really stretch our hands up. But we're trying to imagine that the shoulder blade and the ribs are moving back. And again, this shoulder, I can roll it back. I haven't got anything to hold on to, so I'm going to actually just hold on to the chair, but keep trying to roll that back. And then upright, and then release. And we'll do the other side. So you kind of reach, you start creeping up. You're imagining that side body lengthening, taking your arm wherever is comfortable, and then rolling over. So we're opening this side, shortening this side. Shoulder is rolling back. Shoulder blade is rolling back. Ribs are rolling back. Even this shoulder, you don't want to be putting too much weight on and jutting that shoulder forward. Chest always open. So you don't have to go very far. And then coming up and releasing again, seeing if that's released or any movement from your shoulders, if that's giving you some tension in your lower back. Then we do old cat and cow, always good. And then we can do some crossing the arm over. So taking one arm and just lengthening the outside of the tissues. We can lengthen it downwards, across, level with the shoulders. Yeah, but probably don't want to go much higher than that. Just stretching out those tissues, giving it a little rest. And again, the other side as best you can. You know, it's not always possible to do everything. Stretching out those tissues and rest. And then we can do some external rotation of the arms and internal rotation of the arms. So this is kind of like cactus. You just imagine you don't want to push your arms too far down so that again the shoulders are coming forward. Keep the shoulders and the collarbones open and just allow the hands to come up and down, and don't force it. Doesn't matter how far up or how far down. We can all look different. It's fine. I hope we do all look different, because otherwise it'd be really weird. Lots of me's running around. And then again in cactus, we can squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other behind us, really opening up the pecs. So these get tight as we're kind of slouching all day. Squeeze. And then we could maybe bring the elbows in towards each other to open the shoulder blades. Squeeze back. So you're opening the chest, squeezing the shoulder blades, and then you're doing the opposite, opening the shoulder blades, squeezing the chest. Very nice. And then we can take the hands behind us again. We can start with the arms bent. You can't really see this. Start with the arms bent, then roll the shoulder blades back and the shoulders back, then stretch the arms long and straight. Otherwise you might have the tendency to kind of sit forward. Lift the arms up as high as you. This feels nice. Come back to the front now. And then rest. Okay, and that will do for today. So I hope that feels quite nice. Let me know how that felt. Let me know if you want some other kind of live stuff. I'll try and do a live once a week. I've been getting out of the habit, but if you guys want anything, let me know. I'm going to come to the camera now and see that message. Let's see. Ah, thank you. Oh, it's lovely to see. That's a lovely old friend from, not old, she's perfectly normal aged. She's my friend from Italy. So lovely. Thank you everyone for joining me. Let me know if you've got any requests, and see you soon. Bye.